Welcome back to part 2 of the Singer 15 restoration, where we went from this to this. If you missed part 1 of the restoration, click the link that's on the screen now. I'm going to start by reassembling the bobbin race. The bobbin race goes in first, followed by the retaining ring which clips into the 2 pegs, and then the clip, which is held together with a central screw. When that's assembled, I'm going to put it back on the machine. You might need to turn the hand wheel to get it into the correct position. And it fastens in place easily with the 2 screws. Then check that the bobbin race moves freely. Now I'm going to give the machine a coat of good quality carnauba wax. This paste is particularly easy to use and I apply it all over the black japanned finish with a cotton wool pad. The carnauba wax will help to protect the finish and help give a glossy shine to the machine. After just a few minutes it can be buffed up with a soft cloth. Use a cotton bud to get any excess wax out of all the nooks and crannies, not forgetting the oiling ports. Don't forget to wax the belt guard as well as the hand wheel. Now onto the bobbin winder assembly. The first thing is this large spring. You'll notice there's a small leg at 90 degrees from the spring. This fits into a hole on the bobbin winder. It can be quite fiddly to get this in, but once it locks into place you'll be able to tell by feel. Next, I'm taking the adjusting plate and holding it in place with the original large bolt, just to make it easier to get the adjusting screw in. Again, this can be pretty fiddly, so take your time. Next is the auto shut-off lever. There's a smaller spring with 2 legs this time. It doesn't matter which way around this goes in. One leg fits into a hole on the belt guard. Again, you'll be able to tell by feel when this is locked into place. The other end goes into a hole in the auto release lever. This can also be quite fiddly to get into place. The screw that holds it in has a small shoulder, so even when it's tightened up it allows the lever to swivel. Make sure the screw is tightened all the way down. The lever should spring back freely. To attach the bobbin winder wheel, I'm removing the large screw that I put in to help line up the adjustment plate and reinserting it the right way round. Start to screw the winder in place, and then while holding the auto shut-off lever up, swing the bobbin winder pin down and over the release lever. This large screw also has a shoulder on it so that when tight, allows the bobbin winder to rotate. When tight, use a screwdriver to position the leg of the spring in place on the belt guard. Check the operation of the bobbin winder mechanism to make sure it engages and disengages properly. Then put the rubber tyre back on. Now to the tension assembly. First, put the inner sleeve in with the cutout facing to the right. The tension spline has a slot to hold the tail of the take-up spring. Make sure the tail of the spring is located securely in the slot and push fit it into the tension assembly. Making sure the take-up spring arm points to around 5 o'clock. Put in the longer of the 2 screws into the bottom hole to secure the tension spline in place. Push the tail of the tension spring up and into the cutout. Put the tension release pin down into the centre of the spline with the crimped end up to the front. Next, fit the adjustment screw into the inner sleeve. and adjust the inner sleeve so that the tension spring sits at the 3 o'clock position, and tighten the adjusting screw. Now add the tension plates with the dome sides facing each other. Then place the tension release washer on top, with the dome side facing up, and then the beehive spring on top of that. Finally, fasten on the knurled nut. To reattach the belt guard, place it over the oiling port, and fasten into place with the 2 screws. Now put the hand wheel back on. Put the stop motion washer on with the inner tabs facing out. And screw on the stop motion button. Tighten up the grub screw and test the operation of the stop motion knob. It should turn around 1/4 of a turn. If it only turns around 1/8 of a turn, then remove the stop motion knob and rotate the washer behind it by 180 degrees. It's a 50-50 chance you'll get it right the first time. Replace the back cover plate. Screw in the take-up lever, and don't forget to check its operation. Next, replace the presser foot lift lever and tighten the grub screw on the side. Again, check it's operating correctly. Screw in the stitch length lever, refit the bobbin winder tension guide to the base. This is adjustable and can slide from side to side to correct uneven bobbin winding. Reinstall the feed dogs. Again, I'm sorry for my hands getting in the way. Screw on the feed dog cover plate. Refit the presser bar spring. Not forgetting the little washer that sits on top. And screw in the presser bar pressure adjustment screw. And check the operation. Put in the faceplate screw part way. And fit the faceplate and tension assembly. Check that when the presser foot lever is up, that it releases the tension discs. Install the bobbin case. And the bobbin cover plate. Reinstall the thread cutter, but be careful, these are sharp. Reattach the needle bar thread guide. Again, I'm sorry about the blurry camera work. And refit the needle clamp. Finally, fit the presser foot. The machine was missing its spool pin, so I took the one used for bobbin winding out of the base. It's a push fit and I lightly tap it into place using a block of wood to prevent any damage. I've put the machine in a temporary base and added a hand crank, just so I can check it works and make any final adjustments. And now for the moment of truth. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, not forgetting to hit the bell icon to be notified of all my future uploads. Let me know what you think of this video in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.